Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute brutal realities of roof maintenance, and we're going to do it by using the intense, highly volatile weather of Hickory, North Carolina as our ultimate micro case study. But look, whether you live down in the Piedmont region or really anywhere else with dramatic weather shifts, the principles we're talking about today apply directly to protecting your biggest investment.
So seriously, do you know what the roof over your head actually endures in a single year? Most of us, honestly, we never even look up until water is literally dripping onto our living room floor. But there's an unseen, relentless war that your roof is fighting against nature every single day. It's a literal structural battleground, and today, we're going to arm you with the knowledge to win it.
Okay, let's dive into this masterclass roadmap. We've got the weather battleground, diagnosing roof damage, repair versus replacement, understanding roofing costs, and finally, dealing with contractors.
Part 1. The Weather Battleground. This is basically nature's ultimate stress test.
Using Catawba County as our example, man, it's not just rain we're talking about here. Think about those winter freeze-thaw cycles that just snap brittle shingles right in half. Then you've got the intense summer UV rays literally baking the asphalt. But you know what the real silent killer is? The clay soil. It shifts during the wet seasons, causing homes to settle unevenly, and that creates massive structural stress, actually causing your roof valleys to completely separate and ridge caps to just crack wide open.
And then there's the spring wind. 90 miles per hour. That is the sustained wind speed your shingles actually need to be rated for to meet building codes in exposed areas. To survive that kind of beating, homes need specialized installation, like a very specific 6-nail pattern on the perimeter shingles just to resist the uplift. Without that, whole sections of your roof can literally peel back like the lid of a tin can. Wild, right?
Moving on to Part 2, Diagnosing Roof Damage. Let's talk about spotting the signs.
So what does roof failure actually look like? Ask yourself, what are the physical, visible symptoms that nature is winning the war against your house?
Well, every season leaves a distinct fingerprint of damage. It's a direct cause and effect relationship. In the summer heat, the sun breaks down those protective granules, washing them straight into your gutters and leaving bare asphalt. Or take the winter freeze-thaw. Snow melts, refreezes at the cold eaves, forms these massive ice dams, and pushes water right under your shingles and into your attic. It's totally relentless.
Which brings us to Part 3, repair versus replacement. This is the ultimate, often stressful decision.
When figuring out your scope, first consider a targeted roof restoration. This addresses, say, 10 to 15 years of wear. It's a precise job where you're replacing damaged flashing around chimneys, sealing up those valley separations, and maybe upgrading your ventilation to extend the roof's life. Then, on the flip side, you have a full tear-off. This is the whole shebang. It's a massive operation where old materials are stripped right down to the bare deck, rotted sheathing gets replaced, new ice and water barriers go down, and an entirely fresh shingle system is installed.
And here is your reality check. 20 to 25 years. That's the average lifespan of a standard asphalt system. Once you hit that mark, UV damage and constant weather wear usually force your hand, and you're looking at a complete replacement.
Let's move to and see how this builds if a replacement is actually necessary. It boils down to 3 straightforward phases. First, you get a deep inspection and assessment, and they should be checking ventilation and flashing, not just the shingles. Second is the professional installation, which for a typical home takes about 2 to 4 days. And third, a final walkthrough to make absolutely sure everything perfectly meets manufacturer's specs so you can lock in that warranty. It's a very structured process when done right.
All right, Part 4, Understanding Roofing Costs. Let's dig into the financial realities.
When you break down the expenses, labor is almost always the biggest chunk of the cost. And honestly, rightfully so. Skilled crews safely navigating incredibly steep pitches and perfectly installing systems to code, they command a fair wage. But keep your eye out for hidden decking repairs. If water has slowly rotted the plywood underneath your old shingles, that is a sneaky, hidden cost you literally won't see until the tear-off actually begins.
So, the crucial point here is choosing the right material for both your budget and your climate. Asphalt is your standard baseline. Lower cost, very common. But metal roofing, while it requires a much higher upfront cost, it offers a significantly longer lifespan and handles humidity and severe storm exposure way better over time. It's a classic long-term value calculation.
And finally, Part 5, Dealing with Contractors. This is absolutely crucial consumer advocacy.
You absolutely need to know the inside baseball warning signs of a bad contractor. If a roofer asks for full payment up front, Run. No way. If they offer steep cash discounts to skip pulling local permits, they are putting you in major legal and structural danger. Vague estimates missing specific material brands, massive red flag. And beware of those scare tactics. If they tell you your roof is going to cave in tomorrow if you don't sign today, they're just trying to play on your fear.
Now, think about these 5 incredibly dangerous words. I haven't gotten other bids. The absolute second you utter this phrase during a negotiation, you're immediately signaling vulnerability. You're basically telling them they have zero competition, which is practically an invitation for an inflated quote.
And there are a few more things you should definitely keep to yourself. Never mention your exact insurance payout amount because, surprise, surprise, their quote will magically match that exact number. Claiming you need work done immediately shows desperation and strips you of your leverage. And never, ever suggest cash deals to dodge inspections. Maintaining your leverage means keeping your cards close to your chest and demanding every single detail, timeline, and material spec in writing.
We'll end on this thought. Nature doesn't take a day off, and your home is standing right there on the front lines. So is your roof a prepared, well-maintained shield against those 90-mile-per-hour winds and brutal freeze-thaw cycles? Or is it a ticking time bomb just waiting for the next major storm to fail? Take a good look up at your roof today, demand high standards from anyone you hire, and make absolutely sure your home is truly protected.